Thanks for joining in. In today's video, I would like to talk about ferns. So, the first memory of a fern plant for me goes back to my childhood. And I remember the ferns being dotted around the house in my grandmother's house and my mother's house. And they were placed, like I said, without any strategically thinking. So some of them were growing in a pretty dark place and some of them in a very sunny spot. I remember the biggest fern in my mom's house was the fern growing just above the radiator, which used to get really, really hot in the winter. So I can imagine my parents' house, especially in the winter, was pretty hot and dry because of the central heating. Yet, those ferns were thriving and they were almost indestructible. I would say they were thriving on neglect. My mother used to water them as and when she remembered. However, what I remember was that she watered them always with a fertilizer in the water. The fertilizer wasn't any specialized one that you can buy in the shop now. It was basic, I remember, eggshells steeped in the water for about a couple of weeks, or banana peels. Now, I don't know if there was any benefits in that water, if there was any benefits for the plants. However, like I said, those ferns were thriving. So all those years, I grew up thinking they are the easiest plants to grow. And once I got into plants myself, I thought I would give it a go because obviously they're very easy and very forgiving plants. And boy oh boy, how wrong was I. So the first fern that I got was a Boston fern, and slowly but surely I killed it. Yes, it just dried out completely, even though I was watering. So I think what happened was maybe it dried out in the beginning too much, the roots just desiccated, and then as I was watering, they started to rot, and it was kind of like an avalanche effect, snowball effect. So I think maybe after 3 or 4 attempts of growing ferns, because I didn't just give up on after the first one, and I thought maybe it has to be just a bad batch or whatever. So after 3 or 4 attempts, and which every attempt ended up in a failure, I gave up on growing ferns. Even though I still admired them when I see them in the videos on the YouTube, among the other growers. However, I just thought, right, surely I haven't got the green thumb for ferns. I can grow orchids, I can grow most of other houseplants, but I just don't have the knack for ferns. And then I came across variegated Boston fern, and that one just it was just amazing. I was just taken aback because I have never seen variegated fern. I think the variety is a tiger variety of a Boston fern, and I have purchased it. I purchased it from a seller on Etsy, and I got a small division. Prior to receiving this fern, I had done my research. I just pulled any information I could off the internet, and I thought, right, I killed the other ones, but I would like to keep this one alive because it's so special. And I have to say, this is the fern. And I've got another one growing up on the top of the shelving unit, which you cannot probably see. And this is the fern that I've divided now 3 times. I've had it for about a couple of years. I've divided it 3 times. So I've got this one and a division growing up on the top, and another division that I've sold off. This fern, I don't know if this is just more hardy variety of a Boston fern, but it's just such an easy grower. I don't know if this time maybe I got it right. Maybe my growing conditions just suits this particular fern, this particular plant. Maybe another Boston fern, variegated one, would not grow in my environment. Maybe it's just that one plant that it just continues to thrive. I don't know. However, the way I grow it is, it grows in a mixture of coconut coir, perlite, and bark. So the media is still quite water attentive, but at the same time fast draining. And I water it as and when I remember, really. It grows in the office, although it grew in my downstairs in my living room as well. So the humidity is pretty high. From what I've heard and what I've read, Boston ferns don't like high temperatures. They kind of thrive better, grow better in the cool temperatures. Don't know if that's true, because my temperatures are pretty high in the house, and it didn't stop it growing. Now I'm growing it in a kind of bright diffuse light. However, when I grew it in the living room, it was literally growing just under the grow light. It got a little bit bleached. However, there's one. Oh yeah, I don't think it will show on the camera because it's quite far away. But there, it quite bleached. But at the same time, the pattern, tiger stripe became more prominent. So I think this particular fern is very forgiving. You can grow it in a bright diffuse light. You can grow it in a stronger light. I wouldn't grow it in a full sun though, because I still believe that full sun and the grow lights are two different things. I mean, grow lights will still burn your plant, but never to a degree that full sun can. So yeah, I grow mine now in a bright diffuse light, in a humidity above 60%, and the temperatures ranging between 25 to 35 degrees, and it grows. And this time I think I won't repot it. I'll just let it thrive, let it grow and get bigger. Now I've got another fern. I think it's a lace something fern. I forgot the name. I'll put the name in the description. After success with my Boston fern, I thought, wow, I want to get to some more different varieties of ferns. So I spotted this one on eBay, and I just absolutely love how dainty and delicate the fronds are. They're absolutely gorgeous, and I thought I would try and grow this one. It seems to be more finicky than the Boston fern, and I think it's because obviously it's so small. However, I have seen mature plants, and they just look like someone just wrapped a delicate, I don't know, curtain around the pot. They're absolutely stunning. So this one's got a very similar care to a Boston fern. Again, water it when it kind of approaches dry, in a soft, kind of bright diffuse light with quite high humidity. And it's growing, because when I got it, it was just tiny little baby. So it's growing to some degree, although I can see a little bit here, a little bit of a yellowing by the end. So I think I might have to need to repot it just to kind of allow, because it's growing from the bottom as well, just to allow the new fronds to come to the light, to come through, because at the moment it's so dense that the new fronds just cannot, there we go, just cannot go through. So I might have to repot it in not so very, very soon. Now I have got another fern which is very, very special as well, and I have seen it on one of the channels, and this is Microsorum Thailandicum. Yes, it does not look like a fern. It looks, I would say, it's more similar in looks to, let's say, Anthurium, kind of pendant Anthurium, striped leaf Anthurium, but it's a fern, nevertheless. It's a blue oil fern. Now, this fern, I'm not using any filters. This is what the leaves look like. And this is a nice color to it. There we go. Those are the leaves. This is the color. This fern is more expensive than the Boston fern or any other fern that I've got. It's quite hard to obtain, although I think it's becoming more available on the market now. However, when I got it, it was quite hard. I think it was just one place that I could find it, and it was pretty expensive. Now, this fern likes quite strong light, and so just to get that color to the leaves, because when the new fronds started to grow, I don't know if it's actually showing, they look pretty green, kind of like juicy. I like to call it juicy green. Juicy green in color. Then you can get with tiny fronds here, and it's sending another one here, so it's growing. But then as the fronds mature, they become this gorgeous, stunning color, which honestly I just can't get enough of. So this particular fern grows in the kitchen for me, on the shelf, right under the grow light. And again, kitchen's pretty warm, pretty humid. This is a tropical fern, so is going to like hot temperatures and humid environment. Yes, and it's growing gorgeously. When it arrived, the seller said, you have got fresh spores underneath of the leaf. And there's just reminiscence of them. And she said you can use a soft brush and brush them off. There's still a few left actually. And you can brush them off and you can pot them. And you're gonna have a new ferns growing. So that's what I did. However, I have seen on the YouTube that it takes about a year or 2 years for the new plants for the seeds to actually grow into plants. So it takes, if they do, if they will grow at all. So it takes quite a while. It takes a patience. But then again, I'm growing orchids, so to grow orchids, you have to be patient. You learn how to be patient. Now, another fern, and the last one in my collection doesn't mean it's the last fern, because there's many varieties of ferns. However, the last fern my collection that I own is again Microsorum Siamensis. So again, this is the blue oil fern variety. It has got blue tinge to it, and it's supposed to be as blue as Thailandicum, but it's got wider leaves than Thailandicum, and I can see fresh spores. I can see fresh spores, loads of them actually under the leaves. There we go. So I'm gonna wait till they have matured, and then I'll just brush them off and I would seed them. Now, this one is not growing as well as Thailandicum. I've just took off the tips of my beautiful fern. I need to be more careful. This one is not growing as much as Thailandicum, as fast as Thailandicum, and as well. I haven't got any new fronds, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's growing in the kitchen cupboard, in my grow space. Again, under the light. I need to water it because it's quite dry. It seems to be, I don't know, it doesn't seem to, maybe it doesn't enjoy that environment. Maybe I need to repot it. Maybe I need to put it next to Thailandicum. I'm not sure if they've got the same growing requirements, but I'll always try. I'll see, but maybe it's gonna grow better being next to Thailandicum. But this one, again, it's a bit harder to come by than Thailandicum. This was the only plant that I could see on the internet in this, when I bought it from the seller, and there wasn't any more of those plants. for sale anywhere else. So I think it's quite hard to come by. It has got a blue tinge, but it's the tinge, like I said, is not as strong as Thailandicum. But then again, I'm probably not giving it the ultimate growing conditions as it should have. I need to look into it because yeah, it would be a shame if I lost this one. So those are the ferns in my collection. Like I said, what I've learned is not to give up. Eventually just keep trying and trying and trying, and even if you kill the plant, you keep killing it and killing it to eventually you manage to grow it. Yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this rambling, because that's essentially what my videos are, a lot of rambling. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.